Welcome back to another episode of Married Now Widowed. This is part 2 of the journey through grief. We're your hosts. I'm Kayla.
And I'm Nadine, and this podcast is about navigating life after loss through unfiltered conversations.
Yes. Okay. So
Part 2.
We're going to continue from last week's episode. If you haven't watched that, go and check it out. It was a good one.
Yeah.
Basically just discussing where we're at.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So we'll just jump straight into it. One of the things I wanted to ask you was about like photos. Do you have did you put up photos that weren't there before? Do you still have them around the house, or were they just already there from when you guys were married beforehand?
So we put up new photos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when Mick passed away, one of my cousins had made us it was like an Islamic thing where it had like a photo of him and then, Islamic.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, beautiful.
Or whatever you want to say underneath it.
Yeah.
And so we've got that around the house, but my kids also have like a photo frame with them and their dad in their room on their bedside tables.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. So I think why would you remove that? Like
yeah.
I mean it's up to the person if they want to remove it, but I don't know. I think for me it's
if anything you add.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
You add all that.
Yeah. And I think as well a lot of people I don't know, you're probably the same as you just mentioned, but a lot of people gift you photographs or especially Islamic ones. But that's a common.
And so of course you're going to be putting them up.
100%. But I know, and this is controversial, as we always are on this, but so I was reading, there was another, it's not really a grief podcast, but it's just, they talk about death, but from an Islamic point of view.
Yeah.
And someone had mentioned
that you shouldn't.
Of people, right? Because the angels won't visit. Are you following? Have you heard of that?
No.
Okay, so I was watching a little snippet on TikTok and they were talking about death and honouring your loved ones and etc. And the comments, as they are on TikTok, were filled with people saying, this is so wrong, you're doing such a disservice to their soul, angels won't enter the house if you have photos of people around the house. Yeah.
Like of the deceased?
People in general. Yeah. People
so not
general.
Just of the deceased?
No.
So you shouldn't have any photos around the house?
I mean, I don't know. Well, you guys will tell us. I'm not sure. But that's what I was reading. And I was like, I actually have heard it before. I've read it somewhere before. I don't know where and I don't know why. But I think.
Interesting. Let's fact check.
Yeah. Well, yes. You guys can start on that. But prior to Mohammed's, we did. Yeah, we actually had that, that wedding photo that I have up there. That was a gift from my sister-in-law. And we've always had that around the house, and doesn't make sense why I would get rid of it now. But we definitely have more photos of him now, just because again, gifts.
People gift
and
them to you.
Even in the Quran we had one of the second pages, he's memorial thing in there, so we have that around the house and stuff like that. But we've even actually, and I don't know again the rulings on this or people's opinions on it or whatever, but at his grave, remember we've got photos of him on not just on the headstone, we've actually got them on the grass area as well.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, we do. Well, initially they were actually gifted by another family that had lost someone there. I think I don't know how it happened. I think they went to print photos of their loved one and then that something like that, which was really sweet. So we just ended up putting them on his grave, and then we had other ones printed and we have them on there too. So I don't know what the correct or not correct thing is about that, but we have those around there. So and I still have, my lock screen and stuff like that. I mean, now I don't actually, because Hayden's changed it to Christmas trees.
I was
and
gonna
reindeers.
say, I was looking at that the other day, and I was like, why does she have reindeers as her lock
Even
screen?
my mum, she's like, what is your home screen? I'm like, hater's choice. I have no choice.
So my home screen is a photo of Mick.
Yeah.
And we were in Hamilton Island.
Yes.
And he was on a boat. Mm-hmm. We were on a boat. Yeah. And I was like, I want to take a photo of you. So he like full did a pose, like he was posing. So he was like looking up at the sky. But so the cute. Water behind him, like it was just so crystal blue. And so it's such a beautiful photo.
Yeah.
So that's my home screen.
I love that.
Then my lock screen is the appendix cancer ribbon.
Yes. Yeah. I've seen that on your phone heaps of times. Yeah. Nice.
So yeah. I mean, it doesn't make sense. There are people out there who can't look at photos.
Of course,
there are people out there who just can't. And, you know, we discussed this in a previous episode where there was a point where we couldn't even look at photos.
Yeah, phases that you go through.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. But I think, I don't know, around the house, it's not something that I would I wouldn't take that down. I would
if anything, put more. Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Yeah. Same as all my in-laws. Like all my in-laws, they've got photos around their house that they didn't have before. Of like they didn't have really of anyone, but they have like those Islamic, around the house, which is really nice. I like it. I think it's nice, and especially with my son, because I like every time we pass it, it's like you make a note of, oh, look, your dad.
That's
and you know what I mean? So especially, my son's age as well.
Does he ask you about that photo?
Oh, yeah. He's always intrigued by that photo. I mean, he's used to it now because it was there since before he was born. But always. He'll always stop. And especially when Muhammad first passed away, he would always look at that photo. Always. So I love that. It was cute, you know.
That's beautiful.
Nowadays, how do you find support, if any?
Do you want me to be honest?
Yeah, of course. None. Not really any.
I mean, right at the beginning, I did see a therapist.
Yeah.
And, you know, she did help me and gave me tools to kind of deal with.
But you didn't see her for long.
I didn't. And it's not to say that, like, I don't want to be those people that I saw her for X amount of time and she healed me, or like I was good. But
do you think she did you good? Not really.
No, I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She just, I think it was either at our first visit or my second. I can't remember which visit, but she just made me see things very differently.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Very differently. And she came to me from an Islamic point of view. I don't know. I feel like she did really help me.
Oh, okay. That's good.
It's not to say that I never, was upset after that, or I wasn't depressed, or I wasn't all up in my feelings. Of course I was.
Yeah.
But I think helping me accept it, she really did, and that was really early on.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, I don't know. I think it did help me.
Why did you stop?
To be honest, I didn't stop because I didn't want to go back to her. We had just come out of lockdown. I was working like a dog. I often think I really want to go back to her.
Yeah. So it was just like a timing thing.
Yeah, it wasn't like, oh, she healed me and I'm done.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't the case. Yeah. Like I said, did she help me? She definitely helped me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, I just got really busy, and I've sent so many people to her. So,
I know. I remember you even told me about her in the beginning.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So, so therapy for me did help me at the beginning. If I could have continued, I would have.
Yeah.
But I think just speaking about how I was feeling with people, now more so, obviously it's you, it's my cousins.
Yeah.
The cousin I live with one of my cousins. So we speak about, how I'm feeling a lot. If I'm going through something, the first person I'm on the phone with is like you, or like my friend Eleanor. She's always there for me as well. I think just talking about
how you're feeling at the time
and just getting it off your chest. Yeah. I think for me that's that's what helps me.
Yeah.
I find like if I'm really down and I'm suppressing my feelings, I'm hoping that I wake up the next morning and it's completely gone.
Yeah.
But and most of the time, you know, I'm okay the next morning, and I go to sleep with that intention, like I'll wake up tomorrow and it's going to be a better day. But sometimes it's not.
Of course, yeah.
And so I really do feel like when I get it off my chest, or if I have a good cry, or even visiting his grave makes me feel so much better after it. So I don't know. I just think, for me, it's...
So your support right now is really just people,
the people around
that are
me.
close to you.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think therapy is something that I've always wanted to like get into properly. But I think a few things. Number one, you have to find the right therapist for you.
100%.
Right? And that takes time, and it's trial and error.
Time.
And
I saw a therapist before this one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
No good.
I just didn't connect.
Yeah.
I was just, I can't do this with this person. Like, and that's okay.
Yeah,
because
they're just not for you.
I could send somebody to the therapist that I saw,
And
but
they might not like
they
it.
might not,
that's right.
not click with her. There was somebody who I sent to her and it just didn't work out for her. She just didn't feel it. And that's okay, right?
Yeah.
So you're definitely right. You've got to find the right therapist for you that, you know, you're going to connect with and you're going to feel comfortable with.
And I think in the beginning that's frustrating because you just want the help. You're like, I don't want to see 6 different people.
Impatient.
Yeah, it's like, no, I just want the person that's right for me, that I connect with, that gets me and that can help me, you know. I saw a therapist too early on. Too early on.
When?
Probably, I don't know exact, within the first 3 weeks.
Oh, no.
Yeah. What was I thinking? Not thinking.
How did that go?
No good. Few reasons.
Okay.
Number one, personally, it was just too early.
Yeah.
Right? Number two.
Yeah, I think you need to go through the feelings.
Yeah, you need to feel.
You need to go through everything, all the emotions.
Yeah.
And you need to be mentally prepared for that. I don't know.
100%.
Like that's.
So that was number one.
Yeah.
Number two was, I don't want to, like, I don't want this to sound wrong, but the therapist that I went to see was a male, so a Muslim male that's probably 2 in the community for my likings. So with that, I had an issue with privacy. I know you're a therapist. I know code of conduct, but I just don't trust people. I don't care if you're a therapist.
Yeah.
I'm funny. If you know people that, like, this is where I really want to open up. I want to talk shit about people in my family. I want to, you know what I mean? Like, I want to be real. I want to tell you.
Talk shit about?
That's for my therapist to know.
Okay.
You know, like, I want to be
sure
honest. You know, well, not for the people. You already know. But I want to be able to be honest and be comfortable, right?
Because you're going to your truth and how you're feeling.
And what have people done that has made me feel a certain way? You want to go through all that, right? So you want to be with someone that you fully feel like you can trust. And for me, that just wasn't someone that was super in the community, in the area that, you know, just not comfortable for me. Nothing to do with male or female, don't really mind. The other thing that, this is what I don't want to come across like to insult anyone or anything, but so he was Muslim, okay, which is good because then you understand the culture and the religion, and you sort of open up and shed light on the way maybe Islamically we should view things. But this is the problem. A lot of people in one religion have different opinions.
Correct.
Right? So when we're doing therapy and you're coming at me from an Islamic perspective, you might have a different perspective to say what I've been taught all these years. Okay? So you're trying to teach me one way. I've been
already believe another way.
And it gets funny. So to be honest, when I go to therapy, I actually don't want it from a religious perspective.
Yeah.
I want it from a more, what would you call it?
I just a neutral.
Yeah.
So I understand what you're saying, right? And the lady that I saw did come from just it was a neutral perspective.
Yeah.
It wasn't dumping her beliefs or what she believed onto me. It was just from a neutral perspective, right? And that's why I liked that.
Yeah.
It was just very, I don't know. Yeah, just she wasn't going outside or interpreting certain things to what she believed.
Yeah.
It was, this is what it is.
Yeah.
And the way she spoke to me about this stuff was just very neutral.
Yeah. See, I didn't really, I found with this therapist, he was really focused on what happens to us after we die Islamically, right? That's not what I wanted.
No, you needed tools to help
deal
you
with grief.
That's right.
Like grief as its own entity, not this is why, like, just not from a religious perspective. That's not what I wanted at all. But it's interesting because I don't know if he just did it, like if he would do, like if you have a Christian client, you wouldn't, right? He wouldn't be coming from that perspective, surely. Or if you've got a Buddhist client, or do you know what I mean? Like you would have clients of every, that's exactly right.
From all walks
so
of
that's
life.
why I wasn't really, when I spoke with the lady over the phone who chose the therapist for me, I wasn't really like, it didn't cross my mind, oh, he's Muslim, he might come from a religious perspective, because I just thought, like, what does his religion have anything to do with it? It's a therapy session. But it went right into that. And I just didn't like, meh. So I did one session with him, dropped that, didn't go again, but I would love to. I just need to do some research, find someone that's good for me, go to a few appointments.
Just see how you go with her.
Yeah, I need to see a few, but you know what it is for me as well? Timing. It's such a timing thing.
Yeah.
It is not easy.
No, it's
right?
not.
When you have a job and a kid and this and that to fit in a therapy session. And you should prioritize yourself.
Definitely.
And you should make the time for it, but it is not easy. And you want to be consistent
at the beginning,
too.
I think I was seeing her once a fortnight.
Yeah, I guess
so. Yeah. But like, you know, now I wouldn't mind going back to her even once a month.
Would you go back to her?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you were really happy with her. That's so good.
Yeah. She really helped me. She gave me, she would just give me these tools that I then didn't realize that it would also help my children.
Yes. Yeah.
So one thing she got me to do, she gets you to do these little tasks, right? It was just before, I don't know if it was before his 1 year death anniversary. But she got me to write him a letter.
Oh, okay.
And the title was Until We Meet Again. And in it, she said to me, just tell him anything you want, anything that you're currently feeling, anything that you wish you had told him that you didn't tell him.
Yeah.
Just anything.
Yeah.
Just pour your heart
out.
That. And so one night I was like, okay, this is what I need to do. I went out the back, grabbed a pen and paper, started writing. My daughters came out and they're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And I just looked at them and I thought, is this going to sound weird?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like I'm writing a letter to Dad.
Yeah.
And then they looked at me and they said, what do you mean? And I said, well, you know, I'm seeing a therapist and she's asked me to write a letter to Dad and to just tell him anything I'm currently feeling or anything that I need to tell him or want to tell him that I hadn't told him before he passed. And then they said, can we do that? And then I looked at them and I was like, of course you can.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
What do you think they did? They both ran inside, grabbed papers, pens and started writing him a letter.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I found it really therapeutic and she did give me tools to then, you know, I was able to then pass that on to my kids.
Yeah.
Which was great.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, like you said, for a lot of people, I think you'll find that your support will be other people.
Yeah, definitely.
And I know there are people out there that may not have someone that they can trust or that they can go to So that's why I think if you don't have that, maybe it is important to find yourself a really good therapist, someone that can listen to you, because sometimes people just need to be listened to. It's not even, they're not even searching for advice or answers.
No,
and
definitely.
As we always say with grief, it's not, you're not going to fix my problem.
No.
Right? And that's the biggest thing. A lot of people, and it's not their fault, they're trying to do the right thing.
But that's what you'll find with therapy. They're not going to fix the problem
but
for
a therapist
you.
gets
They're just
that,
going to give you the tools
100%.
to be able to deal with your emotions.
Yeah. And that's what a therapist understands. Definitely. Whereas I feel like sometimes there are people in your life that they want to do the right thing, and what they think the right thing to do is to provide you with a solution to fix your problem.
Sometimes we don't want
Well, I don't think answers. There is a solution to grief. No, there is no solution. You know, so you can't. You can keep trying.
100%.
But you're not going to give us a solution.
No, sometimes we just want to sit down and we want to talk and we just want to get what we're feeling off our chest.
Yeah, that's right.
That's all we want, really.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Yeah. And I think as well, if you're someone that doesn't have someone that you can talk to, even finding support groups online. Definitely. Right? Like I see these groups on Facebook that are like, these people like die hard, like communities together. Like they all have each other's back. It's incredible. So I think that's maybe a good option too for people that might not have someone that's close to them that they can open up to, or you know, because a lot of people are isolated. You know, we're lucky enough to have, even if it's 2 or 3 people in your life, that's massive. Some people don't even have one. So the fact that we have multiple avenues, you know, we're really lucky in that sense. I want to know, what is something that you wish people around you understood about your grief? What's something that you feel like people just don't get and you wish they got it, and it's like head banging? It's like, why can't you just understand blah, blah, blah?
That early on, you would have done things that were out of character, or...
That's a good way to put it, out of character. Yeah.
Or, you know, you would have done something that maybe you wouldn't normally do if you weren't grieving. Yeah. And I think people need to understand that. I think I mentioned this in a previous episode. I'm not asking for a get out of jail free card. I'm not saying that you need to keep making excuses for people's behavior because of what they were going through. But, you know, people are going through a traumatic event. They've just lost somebody. Like we lost our husbands. So if I did something out of character, or if I did something that I wouldn't normally do, then I think I should cut be me some slack, right? For that. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like I was getting, that's just another whole story.
Oh, come on. Tell me. I want to hear it now.
Okay, but like people were, you know, would say, oh, you didn't return my phone call. Okay, but... my husband died.
Can I?
My husband died. Yeah, go.
I had a whole issue with a lady that I didn't answer her call or respond to her text, but I responded to her husband's, and that's because
I don't remember this.
Your husband is quite relevant in mine and my husband's life, and was there throughout the death, and it was important, and we had loose ends to tie up.
Everybody, you try your hardest to, because at the same time you don't want to come across like you're, you know, not appreciating people's support, but at the end of the day, like, we get flooded.
But what do you mean? You're not important in that time, just FYI. Anyone that's texting someone that's passed away, you're not the priority in that time. Someone's husband's just died. Someone's father's just died. Someone's brother's just died. Like, your, hi, how are you doing text is not a fucking priority. Get over it. Get over it. And you know what burns me even more? People that you're not like, you wouldn't even usually speak to. Thank you. I appreciate your text. I'll get back to you when I can. How can you not be understanding in that time? That is wild. If my friends have gone through things, right? It doesn't have to necessarily be a death, okay? It could be they've found out bad news about someone in their family. I'll send them a text, even if I'm closer to them, hey babe, I'm really sorry about anything you need, whatever. If they don't reply, I never, ever would sit there and think, how rude. Can you believe she didn't reply? Are you kidding? Look at what people are going through.
Yeah, so people did do that.
Of course they did. Yeah.
People did do that.
Yeah.
And this is what I want to say. Like, again, I'm not asking for a get out of jail free card. What I'm saying is we do things that it's not something that we would normally do. So cut us a bit of slack.
I normally wouldn't reply to anyone anyway.
Yeah, you wouldn't. Yeah, you normally don't reply in a normal day.
I'm not a good responder.
But anyway.
In a good time. So
that's
imagine
true.
in a bad time.
But don't come at me because I didn't respond to your text message. Don't come at me because I didn't return your call.
But
my husband had just died.
But what is it that you're seeking as that other person? Do you want the person to know that you've reached out? Is it validation that you want? Is it like, why is it upsetting you so much that this person 24 hours in to someone dying has not responded to your text? I don't know.
Maybe it's because I responded to other people, like other people and then not them. But honestly, it wasn't because I just chose not to respond to you.
Of course not.
It was because I'll get to it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And it depends what the circumstance is, right?
Definitely.
For example, that situation that I had where these two are angry at me because, whatever, the reason that I had responded to her husband and not her, actually, I didn't even realize I did that. And I still don't know, I have to fact check that because I hate being blamed for things I didn't do. But let's just say that is the story. That's fine. It was with good reason. It was because we're talking within like hours of the death, like probably before, like that same night, right? So first of all, I'm not really on my phone. There's hundreds of messages flying in, obviously, okay? And the reason that I would choose to reply to someone and not to someone else is either A, you're extremely close to me, like a sibling, like my best friend that needs to know what's going on. And to be honest with you, like I said in a previous episode, I did message my 3 friends and told them that he had passed away in that exact moment. I didn't open their replies. Yeah. Probably, I don't even know when I opened their responses. And they're my best friends, right? Yeah. So it could be a matter of that. But also for me, it was what's important at the time, because there were certain people that I actually had to communicate with for real things, for things at his funeral, for things that, his belongings, stuff like that. I have to communicate about. Yeah. So settle yourself with your how are you message. We don't talk all year. Just chill out. Yeah. I hate that.
I know.
Think about what you're saying. Think about what you're saying. Someone's lost their husband and you're upset because they haven't replied to your condolence message in a time frame that you deem, that's crazy.
Yeah.
People are crazy.
So I think that's one thing I want people to know is that even if you don't know me, all right, because now I'm talking about people who know me if I've done something that's, out of character.
Yeah.
Even for people who don't know me or don't know, okay, in this case, it's been 3.5 years since my husband passed away. So for anybody listening who has somebody in their life who's lost, somebody close to them, just understand that you're not all there. Like you're
literally
not mentally, you know what I mean? Like I might be physically here, but my emotions and what I'm going through right now is something I've never experienced in my life.
Absolutely.
And so if I do something that's out of character, if I do something that I wouldn't normally do, if I do something that is so fucked up that I think I said in one of our previous episodes, if I ran down the street naked.
Just let her do it, guys.
Right.
Let her have it.
It's you've just lost someone. And I think it goes back to, if you've not lost somebody so close to you, and if you've not gone through that, you are never going to understand what it feels like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course I do. And I hope you know that all these people that had complaints when it's their turn to lose someone, I will be behaving in the same way. I will.
No.
I'm gonna text you, and if you don't reply, I'm gonna start a drama.
No.
I'm gonna do it. Yeah.
We're better than that.
I'm not. No.
You're not going to be Petty Betty.
I am.
We're better than that.
I don't want to be. No, especially that couple. Especially that couple. I will be texting you.
Well, you know what that means? That means she was really hurt by you.
I wasn't.
Clearly you were.
No. Once again, I was hurt for my husband, not for me. I don't care about you.
Yeah, but in this scenario, you
I'm
weren't
just gonna
hurt
do
for
it.
your husband because the scenario was that this person.
I was because that's why they stopped talking to me.
What do you mean?
Yeah, that was like the basis of why they.
Oh, they stopped talking to you?
Yeah, they don't text. Yes, they don't talk to me anymore. Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so that's why I was cut for my husband, and that's why I'm going to do it back to you. I am. You wait.
Okay.
And I'll be around because I'm a lot younger than these people. So I'll be here, hopefully.
You don't know that.
If God allows. I'll be here and I'll be texting you 2 hours later.
What is it that you would hope people know?
Judgment. Just on judgment. Mine's all about judgment. Just stop. Like, do I have to go into a segment on this? Just stop it.
Yeah, we do need to do a segment on judgment.
Oh, I could talk all day about it. I just feel like, you know what?
Let's do that next.
Okay, sure. I feel like what people have to understand about themselves, like upon self-reflecting, is that you want something one way, right? So, for example, I want you to do something. You could do A and you could do B, but I want you to be C. So I'm never going to be happy unless it's exactly what I want you to do, right? So,
but if it's got nothing to do with.
Oh, that's a whole nother story. But let's just say that these people, they feel very entitled, right?
Yeah, but I want to do A.
Yeah.
What was it?
A and B, and I want you to do C.
Okay.
Right?
But who are you if it's my problem?
Oh, nobody. I'm just no one at all. I just feel entitled because that's how people are, right?
Okay.
So for me, it's just maybe just try and understand a little bit more. Right? Like you are disturbing people's grieving process and just their peace in general.
They're not disturbing it. They're actually adding to it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're definitely adding to it. Definitely, because it's the last thing that someone that's gone through something needs to deal with. And it's not necessarily just about going through grief. Let's just say you have an illness. You've been diagnosed with a terminal illness, something like that. Whatever it is, if someone's going through something, why do you feel like you need to add to their plate?
Because it's not just now I'm going through my grief journey. It is now having to deal with the shit that comes out of people's
That's exactly
mouths.
Right. Exactly.
And how that is affecting you.
Yes.
So here I am focusing on my grief journey. Don't forget, again, I've said this before, it's not just my grief journey, it's my children's grief journey. So I have to deal with how my children are feeling as well as how I'm feeling, right? But then on top of that, I need to now put that on hold, even if it's a conversation.
Yeah, that's right.
I now have to put that on hold and focus on what
your rubbish
Rando wants to say about me and
100%
and just talk shit.
Yeah.
Why? It's unnecessary. It really is unnecessary.
So much noise, and I feel like when people are going through a really hard time, whatever the calamity is.
You don't need the noise.
That's exactly right. You don't need added pressure. You don't need noise. You don't need any of that.
You know what I would rather? Keep your shit to yourself.
Yeah. Oh.
And especially 100%. If you're close to me.
Yeah.
Keep your shit to yourself. And then maybe later on down the track, if you have a problem and you feel like you need to address that with me, sit me down and say, hey, when like Mick passed away, I felt that you were doing A, B, C. Yeah. Give me an opportunity to explain myself. Yeah. Because like I said, I'm not thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not thinking.
I agree.
So if you want to, which you shouldn't be judging me anyway.
Yeah.
But let's just say you want to.
Yeah.
Sit me down later on and have a conversation with me and let me explain to you why I made certain decisions when I made them.
So I think that's valid for somebody who is genuinely directly affected by an action that you've made. Okay. For example, our lovely friends that don't talk to me, you feel like you were genuinely affected by my actions. I feel you have the right to come to me rather than telling everybody else about it. Come directly to me. Hey, 1, 2, 3.
But they never did.
Of course not, because that's how these people are. But you can allow me to explain myself, defend myself, whatever. That's one side of it. But the other side is if I'm doing something that has no direct effect on you, why?
Yeah.
I don't even want you to come to me.
That's right.
Keep it to yourself.
That's right.
That pisses me off almost more, right? Because it's like I've made a decision that has it does not affect you.
Yeah.
It will never affect you, yet you feel like having an opinion.
I feel like people want to make it about themselves.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Of course they do.
People want to make it about themselves.
100%.
And to be honest, that's quite disgusting when you're going through what you're going through.
And you know what? It is about attention and it is about
but why?
Making it about yourself. You know why? Because, no, I don't know why, but I'll tell you why I believe it's about that, right? A lot of these people, okay, prior to, I've told you about this, the setup with how it was when I first met Mohammed, okay? So, he's a guy who's respected in the community. He's a good guy. He's got a good name for himself, religious man, blah, blah, blah. Then he meets a Greek girl that culturally is very different to him. I'm considered wild to a lot of these people, right? Just because, I don't know, I'll wear a skirt, right? Crazy stuff. So, or I'll go out with my friends. I have been to a club. Crazy, right? So there was a lot of shit talk oh my God, what's he doing with that girl? And, this is why would he go for a girl?
Yeah.
Which is fine. I don't mind. He didn't mind. Block out the noise, right? But then, so you're talking shit about that. You don't even want him to be with me. And then now that we've been together, we got married, we had a kid, everything was great, happy, he's passed away and now it's me. Now you're heavily judging me for my actions. You didn't even want me for him in the first place. Why are you worried about what I'm doing now? Fuck me off.
Yeah.
Get rid of me. Don't worry about me. You should be grateful. Oh, yes, now I have no ties to her. I never have to speak to her again. I never have to see her again. Why are you still worried about me?
Yeah.
That's why I know it's based on them. They want to put themselves in when you're not in. You're not. Nobody cares. I don't care.
And
but
that's what it is. It's because you don't care.
Yeah. It's not my fault.
I know.
Can't care about people that I'm not,
Yeah.
Humans only have a certain level of care to give, right? Can't care about everyone.
Yeah.
So, no, you're right. It is. It's about making themselves important
Correct.
in the situation.
That is exactly right.
Yeah.
And if you're not close to that person, directly close to that person, why would you care?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I know.
It's wild.
Yeah, people are wild though. What emotions do you feel like you go through now? Regularly in comparison to
I miss him a lot.
Okay, yeah, so the missing aspect of stuff, yeah.
So much.
Well, do you remember when I said in another episode that your first few days is not
I miss them.
I miss you, right? Yeah. So now it's I miss you.
And I think as time goes on, that just gets stronger and stronger.
Yeah.
I do. I really, really miss him.
Yeah.
And I think we spoke about this before where I had said, till now sometimes I'm in shock.
Yeah.
And I just, for me, I feel like that comes with missing him also.
Yeah. And
so I'll be like, you're not here anymore.
Yeah.
I can't believe that you're not here anymore.
Yeah.
And I then just associate that with, fuck, I miss him.
Yeah.
I really, really miss him.
Yeah.
one of my cousins actually messaged, I think it was last night, and she said she had listened to our podcast and the episode where we were talking about New Year's Eve.
Oh, yeah.
And then she sent me a message and she was like, 3, 2, 1. And then she said, can I come and spend New Year's Eve with you and Kayla? And then she followed up with, I listened to that episode and I just thought, wow, I actually miss Mick.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I think as time goes on, that becomes so much more stronger.
Of course, yeah.
Because they're not around and you haven't seen them for a while. And prior to that, you're dealing with all the other emotions.
Yes.
Right now, I'm like, I really miss him.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, that's where you're at. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, it has so much to do with Hader's milestones, right? So so yesterday, so he's got some friends at school, right? And it's so cute to like see your kid have his first like friends that aren't his cousins. Can I see? Yes? Oh, can I? Yeah, I know. You're okay. Are you okay?
Yeah.
So it's so good to have like.
Stop.
Oh my God. Oh no, we've lost her. Oh God, what's happened?
My makeup.
Oh. Fuck, we need a tissue box here. Yeah, just look back for a few seconds. Put air in those eyes. Oh no, she's gonna have streaks. Okay, just you can't afford to.
Something.
Do you want toilet paper? Yes. I don't know what you're doing. Your lashes were in your eyes. I didn't know what was going on. There you go, Joel.
I'm fine.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Okay, sorry guys. I had my little meltdown.
Yes, that's.
And I try not to. You know why?
Why?
Because you spoke shit about me the last episode.
What did I say?
I was like, oh, you know when the last time I cried? And you were like, oh, you cry every episode.
Yeah, she does. She's a cry. We've got a crier. That's okay.
No, I just, when I was speaking about missing him. Like,
yes.
Anyway, you were talking about Hader.
Yeah, so the other day,
do? Yeah.
So he's got his little friends at school, whatever, and then one of the mums asked the teacher for my phone number, and I was like, yeah, cool, give it to her, whatever. And she messaged me and she's like, no. No, it's cute now. It won't be cute in school, but it's cute now as little kids.
Yeah.
And she's like to me, you know, my son so-and-so loves to play with Hader. We'd love to organise a play date, blah, blah, blah. But I was like, oh my God, you have your first little friend,
That's
your real
so
friend outside your cousins.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just thought of Mohammed straight away. I was like, I just wanted to tell him. I just wanted to think, can you believe he's got his first little friend? Like how amazing is he,
cute.
you know?
Yeah.
So it's stuff like that for me where I'm always like, oh, I just need to tell Mohammed. I just need to tell Mohammed this stuff. He's the only person that would like respond the same, happy the same, sad the same, like just the same as me, you know? So that's what I go back to a lot. It's just all about
the milestones.
Need to tell you stuff. There's so much I need to say, you know? I remember, this is really weird, right? But we spoke about in the earlier episodes when they started to put Mohammed on morphine, but I didn't really know about morphine, right? So I thought it was just a painkiller for the cancer pain, but really it was to help with end of life, right? So I was, oh my gosh, the last week he really started to decline. So you couldn't really, there was no normal conversations like you could talk to him, but he was pretty dazed in and out. He wasn't up for any heavy conversations. It was just, are you hungry? Are you blah, 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 right? And I remember the last few days, I was so, like, I would come home from like doing a night shift at the hospital. I would get home like 6 a.m. to get my son ready and whatever to take him to the hospital. And I was already so down, not even because I still at that point thought, oh, no, I don't think he's going to actually die. He's just really unwell. But I was like heartbroken and shattered because I felt like I had to put my topics on hold, right? I had all this stuff I needed to say to him about what's going on. I need to tell you, there's so much I need to say to you. And you're not in a state. You're dealing
with something that's so much bigger than that.
Yeah.
And so it's like, how can I sit here and
No,
speak to you about
it wasn't
this stuff?
that.
No?
He couldn't do it. He couldn't communicate because he wasn't wasn't able.
I know what you mean now, yeah.
So I remember I was like, oh, it's okay. I'll write them all down. So I would write notes. In my notes, I would write, oh, I wanted to tell him about what happened to this person outside the hospital. And let me also say that the real estate said blah, blah. Like I had all these things that I was bursting with conversation.
Yeah.
Like me and my husband were best
Talk
friends,
about
right?
everything,
Talk about everything. Okay. So I had on my iPhone notes like 4 or 5 dot points. I was like, can't wait. And every day I was dying. I was like, he'd wake up and I'm like, oh, is he better today? Can we chat? Because I've got so much to say.
Yeah.
And then I remember when he died, I was like,
but my notes.
but yeah. Yes. Yes. I was like, but I need to tell you stuff. No, I have so much. Who am I going to say this to?
That's heartbreaking.
Right?
I'm not going to lie, to a lot of people that might not seem
No, but
whatever,
it is.
but
It's heavy at the
even
time.
if it was need to tell him what happened outside the hospital with this person.
Yeah, but it's like conversations that you have with your best friend. And then I remember through the funeral and through the days after, it was just so much of a build-up. I was like, I need to tell you everything.
Yeah, I know.
There's so much I need to say. And then coming to the realization slowly that that's just all gone. Like you're just not going to be able to tell him anything anymore. No. Like that's done. Now you have to just keep it to yourself and just there's no more. No. There's no more like, best friend. Like it's just, that's it. It's done. In that instant, in a second when they pass, that's it. It's all done. Everything, like that's done.
Yeah. And that's so sad.
So full on.
Heartbreaking, yeah.
So full on. And I never forget coming home, bawling my eyes out. He was still alive. 6 a.m, got home, getting ready to take care, bawling my eyes out downstairs because I was like, I need to talk to you. I really need to talk to you and you're not with it. And I have so much to say. I have so much to tell you.
Just on that, Mick obviously was on morphine as well. And then there was a point where they were giving him so much of it and I got a little bit concerned. And so when the team of doctors and nurses came in, I said to the professor, like, I'm just a bit concerned about the level of morphine you're giving him.
Yeah.
And he looked at me and he said, now don't forget it was because he wasn't conversating with me and all I wanted to do was chat with him.
Talk,
Right.
Yeah.
And so when they were giving him all this morphine, he was just sleeping. He might wake up, open his eyes and then go back to sleep.
That's right, yeah.
And so I said to the professor, I'm just a little bit concerned as to the amount of morphine that like we're giving him. And he said to me, Nadine, he's in a lot of pain and you want him to be comfortable.
Yes.
And then in that moment, I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
Look at me being all selfish because I want to have one last conversation.
Yeah. I just want to chat. I know. It's like, can we lower the dose for half an hour?
I just want to chat with him. I just want to have a, and don't forget, when they're on, the morphine that they were on, right? It was quite heavy.
Yeah.
We would have chats and
but it
would be things that didn't even happen.
And they don't even remember. It's not even.
But for me, I would laugh and we would both laugh and I was just like, if I can just have one of those conversations with you where you're speaking about something that didn't even happen, something made up. I would give anything to go to have that conversation.
Absolutely.
And so when he said that to me, I just thought, fuck, I'm being so selfish. Like here I am, I just want to have a chat with him.
I know. And he's in so much pain. I know. And we're just all like, morphine. I just need to tell you one thing that happened about the real estate agent. He said one thing.
So I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
I know. And you don't you can't quickly switch and think, no, they're dying now. You're still carrying on with your normal life. So you still want to have these conversations.
Definitely.
And of course, life is still going on, right? So whether you had, like, I remember one of our things was that there was a house that we were looking at and the owner of our house at the time also owned the other house. So he's like, yeah, if you want to do a straight swap, just move right into it. It was, bigger with a pool. Yeah. So we were really excited. And, I'm like, the pool's ready.
Swap.
Like, he called me the pool, and it's like, yeah. And as I said in the other episode, and I've told you one-on-one before, that I didn't know about the whole morphine deal.
Yeah.
Until after. And like I had no idea.
Yeah.
How silly.
I know.
But
the other thing is I don't think they explain that.
No, because I think they expect you to sort of know. Well, because remember, Lana knew. Do you remember? Because she's the one that was weird to me about it. And I was like, why is she saying that?
Yeah.
And I still didn't know what she was talking about. So I think they just expect you to know.
To be honest, I always thought it was for the pain. Now.
Yeah.
I realize that
it's like end of life pain, like transitioning to past pain.
Because the level of morphine that they're on, because people
are on morphine.
Yeah,
and
like
that's right.
I went into hospital not long ago. Well, I don't know, not long ago, but whatever. They gave me morphine, sent me home.
Exactly,
right?
And that's what I'm used to because Mohammed had previous hospital trips where he was in pain. They just give him a bit of morphine.
Yeah,
normal,
and you're done.
Right?
Yeah,
Not
but the level of morphine that they give you is really to prepare for,
which I had no idea.
To make them comfortable and so that they're not in pain when they pass.
Yeah, that's really intense. Okay. All right, guys, we're going to wrap up this episode. We hope you enjoyed it as always. Any questions, anything you want to know, anything you want to talk about, please send us a message. All platforms, Married Now Widowed, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Bye.